Well, I'm just doing a bit more with the radio and heater controls of this Porsche 911 996s. It's like a 2005. So, to recap, it had a double DIN Chinese, horrible. I mean, I'm not totally against the double DIN Chinese stuff. I was tempted to get the 996 specific one. But in the end, I decided I wanted to go single DIN. This is the best, but also still crap, single DIN Androidy thing I could find. It was only 60 quid. I would happily spend 200 quid for one that was a bit faster. But after going in factory settings and finding that the screen brightness was limited to 40% and overriding that, hidden behind a secret code, and then just a lot of faffing around on the calibration of the touchscreen, it's good. It's okay now. It's just got a slow CPU. Everything else is okay. It does wireless, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, if you're into Apple stuff, which I'm not. DAB through USB, which is okay. I've got a different home screen launcher, which has Porsche branding on it. You can optional different branding, but with the Porsche branding, it looks quite good. And I've had it set up on the bench for a while, and it's okay. But if I don't like it, it's going to go, and I'll get the Blaupunkt that's not really a Blaupunkt anymore, the Chinese Blaupunkt Frankfurt. It looks okay. The DAB is built in and stuff like that. Anyway, so the problem I had is that all this was knackered. All this had been cut away for the double DIN. So in a previous video I showed how I rebuilt these screw holes with 5-minute epoxy. So because I've moved the HVAC controls from down here to up here. I had a similar issue with the radio, and I've gone crazy with the hot melt glue. I know that sounds terrible, but it's good stuff. The only thing I would do differently next time is I would key this. Now, as you can see, I've hot melt glued the frame and not the radio, so I've had it upside down and basically filled the cavities here. It started out by just doing a bead of hot melt around here to get it where I want it to be. Now, I was going to, you see there's holes in the side here that were left by the previous person. I was going to weld a nut to the frame and then just have a screw go through here, but the problem is it would have been welded to the release spring there. And also, looking from the front, there's not necessarily much clearance for a screw head. I could have used a socket head cap screw, or whatever we call them, you know, an Allen head, fairly flat thing. May have just about got away with that, but maybe not. You know, look, you can see there's really not much clearance. And then, as I say, it would have been to this part, which actually with the glue I've avoided. Let me just get this out with one hand. Hang on a minute. So far it's feeling okay, but obviously it's not bouncing down the road in the car yet, is it? Just 1 second. Let's get this phone holder here to prop it up a bit. Okay, alright. So, I mean, I'm happy with it so far. So, lots of hot melt glue, some sponge pad things, which are nicely tight. The top and the bottom one are double-sided in place, and the middle one is just held, so I can pull that out. Now, so yes, I've filled with a lot of hot melt, but avoided the springy area. So in theory, this radio is removable in the normal way, and the cage is stuck. What I will say is that now these are okay. These are, as I say, I've reconstructed the bolt holes for that with 5-minute epoxy. You can see that in a previous video. So I'm happy. You know, these ain't going anywhere. This fascia from the factory, it's a bit crap. It pushes in here, but it can still kind of wobble like this. So my favourite stuff, hot melt glue between the back of this and the top of a screw head. Now keep in mind, hot melt glue is easily releasable. Its kryptonite is isopropyl alcohol, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. It might be something else, but I think it's IPA. If you ever see the paintless dent removal kits, the PDR kits, what you do with those is you hot melt glue a puller to your bodywork of your car, to the paint, and then it comes with a puller. It comes with a tool that you squeeze and it pulls this thing out, and it's to pull the dents out of your car. And then these things are glued onto your bodywork really well, and you give them a faint spray of the magic stuff in the bottle, and the glue just releases. And that magic stuff is fairly sure it's isopropyl alcohol. I may be misremembering, but it's easy to find out. I've looked into it and realised it's something common. It's not acetone. It's not methanol. I think it's IPA. Anyway, it's something. So yeah, nice thing with hot melt glue is it doesn't have to be permanent. It can be undone if need be. Now, the only thing missing here is there's nothing. These are holding it apart. They're stopping this from moving up, the radio from bouncing up, but there's nothing stopping it from pulling down except for the glue around here. So we really need something here so that it's held both ways. Yeah, it's held firm like that. Now, we do have a 3D printer, and I did think about something from here to here, or even just bend a small piece of bar and affix to here. But you know what? I'm going to do the awful, and I know it's awful. It's going to look terrible if anybody ever sees it. It's going to look like a real botch job. But I probably am just going to put 4 zip ties around it. Now 4 because then you get a nice right angle. If you just wrap a zip tie around, it curves, doesn't it? Yeah, and you tighten it to try and get the curve out, and you just end up pulling it. And it's not quite the same. Whereas if you have one running there, one running there, one running there, one running there, you can get a nice square. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And there's a bit here to catch it on, maybe. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put a blob of hot melt glue to stop the cable tie moving around. Yeah, okay, so it will look like a botch job, but it'll be fine. Obviously, the other thing I could have done was just gone to Porsche and bought this piece of plastic, this panel, that hadn't been butchered and cut by somebody, but I like a challenge, sense of satisfaction. So there we go, that's what I'm up to with that. The idea, by the way, is that it's a centre console delete, I think they call it, so just past the gear stick, where you, in a right-hand drive car, where your left knee rests against, all that will be gone. It's a common thing, not my idea, and people sell a carpeted replacement piece of trim on eBay for about 70 quid, so I'm going for that. And yeah, but it's come out okay, so far, it's come out okay. The radio doesn't look too bad. It's almost got a sort of classic-y look to it, maybe. Sort of vintage vibe. I was after a few things. Rear USB was essential. I'd like to leave a memory stick connected permanently. A flash drive with loads of music on it, which is what I have in my BMWs, because they've all got slightly older iDrive, no Android Auto, etc. And it's fine, I like it. But obviously I don't want a USB sticking out the front permanently. Now I will say that in testing on the bench, that doesn't work great, because when you power the thing on with the USB attached, it doesn't... I seem to remember it didn't work. I had to eject and reconnect it, so I'll deal with that. But the idea is that the USB there will just come into the glove box, so easy. Only downside on this one, doesn't have a provision for an external microphone, and I've heard these internal mics are awful, but in driving this car so far, on the odd day, I've not had the radio on anyway, so it's going to be a sort of I don't know, emergencies thing, or just every now and then. The car's hardly going to get used anyway. We're doing a family rally in it soon. To call it a rally, it's just a fun afternoon of following a map and deciphering riddles and stuff, and having sandwiches along the way. We've got one of those coming up, so I need to finish it, because at the moment we've just got wires all sticking out the dashboard. But yeah, the radio, it's 1,000 times better than what was in it, which was this Android doubled in. The fascia was like a cut piece of perspex. It was falling off. There was blue tack behind it. And the radio itself was falling out. When you first turn on the car, it went to FM, not tuned in, so you just got a load of white noise. Yeah, so this is 1,000 times better. All right, thanks.